Welcome back to South Africa Tonight. Gauteng Judge President Dunstan Mlambo dismissed questions about sexual harassment allegations after the JSC expunged that part of the interview from the record. Now, he's among 4 candidates being interviewed for the Chief Justice position. He says there were nothing but unfounded rumours. Mlambo later complained about not being notified about this line of questioning. Our reporter Heidi Giokos has been sitting through the interview process. She joins us now live. So Heidi, let's talk about the concern surrounding this question in particular and why it was expunged.
Yes, so I think there needs to be a lot of clarity with regards to how the Chairperson, Commissioner Petse of the JSC, the Judicial Service Commission, decided to expunge all questions and answers related to the rumours around sexual harassment linked to Judge President Dunstan Mlambo. These questions were posed to Dunstan Mlambo by Commissioner Dali Mpofu, but he made it very clear that there has been no official complaint as yet. There's been no evidence forthcoming. There are only rumours that have come about with regards to sexual harassment that could be linked to Judge President Mlambo. Judge President Mlambo made it very clear that he is aware of the rumours. There's been no evidence brought forward or forthcoming, and he himself is waiting for this evidence should anybody want to come and bring this evidence forward. But he made it very clear, categorically clear, that he has not sexually harassed anybody, and that he wants the Commission to know and understand this. There were questions that were constantly asked around this, Shahan, whether or not he is aware of these sexual harassment rumours and how this is going to be perceived should he become Chief Justice and the evidence suddenly comes out. After the break, after the tea break, you had the Chairperson saying that any questions and answers related to the sexual harassment questions and answers need to be expunged. And the reason for this is because a question was posed as to whether or not Judge President Mlambo was notified prior to the time that he would be asked such a question. And a lot of the time, one wouldn't really be notified about questions that will be asked in this interview process for Chief Justice. But because of the nature of and how serious these allegations are and these rumours are, one would expect there to be some kind of prior notice so that one can know what they are going to be asked, especially because it's around sexual harassment. And then there were questions raised about whether or not he knew about other questions. But the fact of the matter is that this has been expunged, and commissioners wanted to deliberate on this, with the Chairperson making it very clear that that is his final ruling, and anything related to sexual harassment in this evidence or in this interview process will be expunged.
All right, so let's talk then about this perception which was raised during the interview process that he actually favors President Cyril Ramaphosa and that he does not have much favor for former President Jacob Zuma. How did that actually come about, and why was that asked? For what particular reason?
The reason why it was actually asked by Commissioner Madonsela to say that there seems to be some kind of perception that the cases that are referred to the Gauteng division, which Judge President Mlambo heads up, he is the Judge President of the Gauteng division, so Gauteng High Court and the Johannesburg and the Pretoria High Court. There's a perception that cases are taken to that particular court, such as the CR17 campaign court case as well as the state capture case, and most of the time it's in favour of the current administration, the current President Cyril Ramaphosa. And Mlambo saying that that is a wrong perception. He says it's actually quite unfair that that perception has been created. And he says if any other case was taken to any other court, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's because it involves the president is going to win. It's the law is being applied and facts of the law are being applied, and this is what he sticks by. He says the law is being applied and that's what judges do. They looked at facts of the matter, they look at the law, and then a decision is then made, a judgment is then handed down. So this is exactly how he explained it, and he also went on to say, Shahan, that he has no soft spots for President Cyril Ramaphosa, but he also has nothing against former President Jacob Zuma. So it was very important for him to be asked that question because of these rumours and this perception that he favours the current administration, but also to make it very clear that that's not the case and he applies the law as judges normally do.
Yeah. Lastly, very quickly, is he talking about any plans for the judiciary that stand out?
Definitely, Shahan. I think today in his interview process, he was very clear and concise. He had a very direct vision and plan that he presented to the Judiciary Service Commission to say this is his plan should he become Chief Justice. And I think one of the important ones, there were many important pillars that he mentioned, but one of the important one is modernization and innovation of the courts. He says it cannot be that people don't take technology and use it to the advantage of speeding up cases at the courts. And he mentions how he made progress when he was chairperson of Legal Aid, which provides a legal service to those who do not have the means to provide their own legal service and pay for their own legal service. So I think modernization and innovation of the courts, using technology to the court's advantage and making sure that judgments are handed down as quickly as possible is also something that he mentioned. Perhaps let's listen to what JP Mlambo had to say with regards to that.
My last leg of my vision, members of the Commission, involves embracing and continuing to embrace innovation and court modernization. And a sub-part of that is ensuring that we are administratively efficient as a judiciary. We have all seen that properly taken advantage of, technology can go a long way in enabling us to be an efficient judiciary. And I thank Chief Justice Mogoeng for conscientizing all of us as heads of courts that we need to take on board modernization.